All right, we are off and rolling here on a Monday. It's Off the Bench, presented by United Dairy Farmers. Justin Kinner, Casey McCollister. I'd like to think that thumbs down is just for the mood and not me, but I get a lot of thumbs down from people. But guys, good morning. Shout to Jacob.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, morning.
Yeah.
But no, you're here. You're rocking. You're ready to go. I know, like I stayed up to about 1 watching you and Reed last night on Chatterbox Bengals post game. But I know everyone's in dumpy moods today, and for anyone that thinks I'm going to take shots today, I might take shots because you guys know I enjoy taking shots. But I won't take shots at your Cincinnati Bengals. Tough morning, fellas. Good morning.
It is. We appreciate that. We appreciate the no shots, at least to start, because we know they'll come at some point. But at least you're going to act like you won't. But that's okay, because I know if this was happening to your team, I would be taking shots. So I can't be that mad about it. It's rough, though. It's a rough spot.
Yeah, it's a bad morning. I mean, it's bad. I don't really have, like, it's just bad. I mean, it's bad.
Nope, I get that. And no, I'm really not there's really not shots to take, because if I take, anything I say is stuff that you guys have already said about this dumpy situation for the Cincinnati Bengals. Because I have to say, I didn't envision this. Even the troll that lives deep down inside of me, that of course, sometimes leads my takes. That troll didn't envision the problems that exist within this team. And I don't know what's worse. Let me ask you guys this: what was worse? Just just that feeling you had at halftime where this team just couldn't do anything right, or what was it the post game feeling of, man, everything started going right until it didn't? I don't know at what point of that game last night, was it when the clock hit 0 and you realized that win was not going to happen, or was it at halftime when you thought, well, the season's completely done? I don't know. It was a very weird roller coaster of a game, and it's basically a microcosm of what the entire season has been to this point to begin with.
I would give anything to lose by 90 points every Sunday. Anything. Stop with these close games. Stop giving me this much hope. Why do we keep winning or going one-score games with the top competitors in the league? That's the number one defense in the NFL. And the Bengals put up more points than anyone's put up against them all year long. And you still can't get the win because your kicker can't make 2 field goals at the end of the game. It's just unbelievable amounts of hope that they keep giving you without actually getting any results. They kept losing games, but they kept losing games in a way that we weren't able to get out on this team. And then now we're sitting here at 4-7, and we're still trying to find a path because Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in football, and we think that should equal wins, and it just doesn't. I think that's why it's so frustrating, is because anyone else that has these pieces, an elite quarterback, an elite wide receiver, an elite edge rusher, they're winning games, and the Bengals just aren't doing it.
You said you couldn't envision it. Nobody can envision this. There hasn't been one single loss outside of the Eagles this season where it's been just a normal game. The Patriots game, people forget about the insane turnovers we've had in that one. The Tanner Hudson lunging for the goal line, the Charlie Jones fumble on the punt. Every single loss this season has defied logic. You can't, I tweeted it this morning, you can't explain this Bengals season to somebody who didn't watch a game. You can't possibly explain what happened last night. There's no logic for it. You can't explain the Ravens' loss last week. You can't. I watch these games now, and it's like you think you get numb to it. You can't get numb to these losses. If it's a bad team and you know that going in, the season's easy. You watch it, you hope for some hope, and that's it. That's what you watch for. There's no hope. This is heartbreak after heartbreak. You don't just get normalized to losing this way. Every single game they should win. In every single game they lose. Last night, I would have rather them lost last night 95-2. That's what I would have rather them lost. Because then maybe there's some change and maybe it's the start of something else. This feels like the end of something. What you're seeing this year. This feels like the end of a story. When you get to the Super Bowl, you make that miracle run. You were projected 6 wins that year. You get to a Super Bowl. That was the start of something. This disaster zone we find ourselves in, this is the end. This is the end. And how you start something new after this, I don't know. I don't know. Do you want to start something new with what we've got? I don't. We got 3 guys. We got 3 guys. Outside of those 3 guys, I don't know what we have. And I watch these games and I lose words because you can't explain this to people. No team in NFL history loses games like this. Nobody. And the fact that I'm gonna rant here. If you have to put sports into a couple words, there's skill and then there's luck, right? The Bengals have not had any luck at all. I've never seen a team have zero luck. 0.0 luck has gone the Bengals' way. Nothing. Not one thing has gone the Bengals' way this season. I've never seen that. They have the talent. Joe Burrow is going to throw 45 touchdown passes this year. They're going to win 7 games? What? I don't get it. Up until last night, they had not been trailing into half in 7 straight games. They've been trailing heading into half, I think, 4 times this season. And you find ways to lose. Every single week's a different way to lose. Sometimes it's the defense, sometimes it's the offense, sometimes it's the special teams. There has not been one complete game this year. Not one. I don't know how you classify this season, other than it being just a complete waste of our time. And that's unfortunately what it is. Sorry for the rant.
You're muted.
He's muted.
Muted yourself. That's tough.
That's tough. I think this season has come down to a couple things, and I don't truly understand it, but it's going to come down to this. Blame Zach Taylor, don't blame Zach Taylor. Blame the coaching staff, don't blame the coaching staff. At the end of the day, there needs to be change.
Yeah.
There has to be. You can't roll out the same exact thing next year. It doesn't work. It's not going to work.
That's what I think it comes back to now, and I'm getting to the point where I got today, and I hate to do the Reds-Bengals comparison, but I said it last night.
Check 1.
There we go.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You got to compare them because they're the 2 teams I root for. The 2 teams I care about. So that's the biggest way I can rationalize a lot of things. And where I got to David Bell after defending him for a long time with the Reds at the end was he's not making a positive impact. My argument is that he's not moving the needle. So why not just try something else? Sure, let's go do it. And if it doesn't work, fine. But at least you tried something. That's exactly where I'm at with Taylor right now. I think the offense is fine, if not great. And everything else is probably a net negative, so he's probably a wash. And if you're a wash as an NFL head coach, get him out of here. My only worry is when we fire the coach and Bengals don't go get anyone at the top of the market because they're the cheapest organization in the league, and we go get the 49ers passing game coordinator because he had a cup of coffee with Sean McVay 4 years ago. I don't think that's going to work either, and we're in the same spot in 3 years. So I think it's so much bigger than the coaching staff, and I would expect, I don't know, it's the bye week, so maybe by Wednesday, Lou's fired as the first scapegoat of this whole thing. Frank Pollock probably soon after that, the O-line coach. They're going to start dropping like flies because they're going to start blaming the people that cost them the least amount of money. And then as soon as we get down the line to the point where we get to Zach Taylor, that's when push is going to come to shove because he will be dead money on the books. And then you want to go pay the top market head coach. I don't think the Bengals would do that. So I think we're stuck with Taylor. We got to hope the other moves that they can make, the position coaches, the coordinators, and maybe draft philosophy is enough to change the course of this franchise.
I didn't one time last night. I didn't one time utter the name Zach Taylor. The Zach Taylor thing to me, and I think Jacob summed it up pretty perfectly. I'd argue there's a very big difference. Like, I look at Jim Harbaugh on the sideline. I look at Jim Harbaugh after winning that game. Jim Harbaugh going up to the press conference afterwards, and he just cheers in front of everybody, and he celebrates the win. You don't see that here. It's just you get the same mundane thing, and it's literally the same exact story as David Bell. It's the same story. The only difference is you only have 17 games. You only have 17 games in the NFL. You don't get an entire season. You get 17 games. So we'll see where the Bengals go. I would clean house. I think last night's loss broke the locker room. I think that was the final.
Oh yeah, it's lost.
I think that was the final, like the one positive. He had one thing going for him, and this was this culture they speak of. Great culture, Zach Taylor. That culture's dead. It's over.
What can you hang your hat on as a culture if every time you draft a player and they play at an all-pro level, you don't give them any money? What do you build on? What are players playing for if you're not rewarding anyone? And maybe I've trusted this organization way too much in this window. I justified the Jesse Bates move. I justified the Joe Mixon move. Maybe I'm just going to switch. Maybe I'm just going to come all the way over to Casey's side. If you get good players in the draft, just pay them whatever they need. Keep them forever. T. Higgins plays 10 games a year. Who cares? When he's out there, he's a damn good wide receiver. Pay him his money. Pay the guys that help you win games. At some point, you have to change it because what we've been doing doesn't work. It's not working. And they're going to go into this draft class and they're going to have the same exact mindset. And they're going to draft some guy that they only saw in the college football playoff because they don't have a scouting department that can watch the regular season. He's going to be the captain of his high school because they care about that. And they're not going to watch any film. And he's going to come in and he's going to be a bust and cut after 3 years. That's what they do every draft class. And you wonder why it continues to not work. It's because you have the most expensive quarterback contract in the league and you can't supplement it with young talent. And when you do have young talent, you don't play it. We've complained about these DBs all year long. Cam Taylor-Britt finally gets benched last night. DJ Turner and Josh Newton looked far and away the best two corners we've had all year. I don't know why they won't play the young guys that you have in the building because you don't even have many of them.
I don't know. Cam Taylor-Britt's the worst cornerback of all time.
He's so bad.
Of all time. Will Dissly, I think, could run laps around him.
Will Dissly is their Drew Sample.
Will Dissly was there to block. Block. He had 100 yards. 100 yards. Cam Taylor-Britt's allowed the most touchdowns in the league. You can't explain this. You can't rationalize it. Good luck to the Bengals the rest of the way, finding their way out of this hole. Good luck to them. Because now you've lost the quarterback. You've lost the star wide receiver. It all started. I forget who said this on Twitter. I think it was Elmore. And I agree with it. When you make that disaster of a distraction at the beginning of the year with Jamar Chase's contract, I think everybody was done. I think that was the end of it. I think people were tired of playing for an organization that doesn't pay people. I truly believe it. I think that's 100% accurate. I think they said, hey, Jamar, let's get a deal done. He said, sure, let's get a deal done. They came in, they lowballed him, and then he's like, and people who don't like me saying the word lowball, they offered him a contract that clearly he didn't want, even though they initiated it. And then after that, it was like, okay, I guess I'll just go to work without a contract, even though you guys said we're going to get a contract done. And now the whole locker room knows it. Everybody knows it. So it's been a disaster, Kenner. It's truly been a disaster.
Hopefully, is my mic working now? Are we good?
It's working.
Okay, cool. So I don't know what happened with that. My apologies, but we're back. This is Off the Bench, presented by United Dairy Farmers. Chatterbox Sports on YouTube. ESPN 1410 Wing AM. In Dayton, the Bengals have broken everybody. It's a very, like maybe if I make a joke, will that help? Like, this show feels like CNN on November 6th. Okay, thank you. There you go.
Elliot,
Jacob.
always politics.
Always, yeah. I'm just trying to lighten the mood.